Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Erika Mann. I am your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next speaker is Shenetria Moore, who is a proud native of Atlanta, Georgia, currently residing in West Palm Beach, Florida since 1992. She is a United States Army veteran who believes in self-discipline and governs her life based on biblical principles. Shenetria received her bachelor's degree in business administration marketing at Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. She earned her medical specialist 391A10 diploma from the Academy of Health Science at Fort Sam, Houston, Texas, where she received an Army Accommodation Award from her commanding officer for her level of professionalism and quality of work. Shenetria is continuously active in her community in various capacities and owns her own business, She Holdings LLC, a marketing, advertising, and promotion company, and a nonprofit, Shaw's Community Initiatives Incorporated. I present to you all Ms. Shenetria Moore. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
I'm doing a fireside chat with Miss Shenetria. Shenetria, you're on mute right now. You come off mute. We'll go ahead and get this conversation started.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Erica. And thank you, Grant, as well, for having me today.
Yeah, I think she pronounced her name Erika. I'm going to remember that. I don't think I've seen Erika spelled like that as Erika. I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. No complaints here. Beautiful day here in sunny South Florida. I'm excited to be here.
It is a beautiful day. And you met the illustrious Dr. Kelly earlier. I'm glad you had that conversation. Looked like there was some good synergy that was taking place. And he reminded me that you are an Army veteran and you just did a couple of different programs and you continuously do that to celebrate veterans. Talk to us just a little bit about your veterans program.
Well, I am an Army veteran, but I'm also a dependent of a veteran. So I got a little taste of that military life, traveling from state to state. Actually, I graduated high school in Germany. So I lived in Germany 3.5 years. We actually lived on the German economy. I had to learn to speak a little bit of German, kleine Bitte, just enough to communicate with my neighbors. So during that experience as a dependent as well as a veteran, it really helped me with my discipline and structure, and to see not only does the veteran serve our country, but the families do as well. And when I have these programs throughout the community, I make sure that we're thanking a veteran for the service, but we're thanking that spouse and the children for allowing that serviceman to serve and know that the home front was taken care of while they were serving and protecting our country.
Well, and thank you for protecting our country. You
Thank
have done your service. This has been wonderful. I mean, you just had something, I think it was around for Vietnam War veterans. Was it just for Vietnam War veterans? That was just like last month. I want you to just tell us more about your program, because you actually put these veterans on a podium and give them their dues about the service that they endured. You know, some of them have PSTD, some of them have other things, all these other things, but I'm sure you bring a smile to their face.
Thank you, Grant. And veterans are really near and dear to my heart. One of the products, my niche products that are near and dear to my heart. And you're right, I uncovered my love for veterans about 9 years ago when I was working for a company, and I was their hospice rep, and they found out I was a veteran. I was actually hired for the community liaison position. And when the veteran position opened up, I was only supposed to fill in until they replaced the veterans representative with someone else. Well, that fill-in never happened. And so I just end up being their representative for the whole county of Palm Beach County, representing them with doing different award ceremonies, pinning ceremonies, hosting events for them in nursing homes, assisted living, community centers, and just at large throughout the entire county. Whatever was going on, I was involved with it when it came down to veterans initiatives. And so last year, when I branched out full time, now I've been doing this for years, but I decided to branch out last year on my own full time with my business. I just carried that over because it was a passion. One of the holidays, as you mentioned, I do a host of symposiums, basically connecting with the VA hospital. I act like a liaison. I act as a advocate, not only for the VA hospital, but for the veteran community. I'm in the middle. So last year I started this host of symposiums where I have some of the VA department heads come out to the community. Because when I was in the community, I used to hear all the time, I can't get through. I don't know what's available. So I connected the two with these symposiums, bringing the different department heads out to the community, sharing with the community what was available. We have a beautiful VA facility here in Palm Beach County, in Riviera Beach. Beautiful, has so many resources, so many services that I want to share with Palm Beach County and the world abroad. So I started here with my local county. And so we started this host of symposiums, Grant. It was phenomenal, huge success. We did 8 symposiums covering the entire county, not just the county, surrounding counties north of us. Not that we cover Palm Beach County, we covered Martin County and St. Lucie. We're doing that again this year, and we're extending to Broward County. Now, I do the symposiums, but I also take a couple of holidays. There's always a good day to celebrate a veteran. I mean, you look at our situation now, we're thankful. And I can tell you from being behind the scenes, being activated during a wartime situation, we don't know the half of what's going on. If you watch CNN, there's things going on behind the scenes right now. And we're thanking our men and women in uniform for their service, for their sacrifice, because I can tell you they're behind enemy lines. I can tell you that now. What we see is not even a half of it. You can multiply that by 10 with what's really going on. So for 2 of the holidays, the veterans holidays, you have Vietnam Veterans Day and Veterans Day. I do something special outside of the symposiums. The Vietnam vets were not properly welcome home. Mm-hmm. You know, I learned when I did all of these programs, I probably did 1,000 certificates and pinning ceremonies over the 8 years that I worked at VITAS. I have to give them credit because they're the reason I found my passion for veterans. Although I was a veteran and I'm a dependent of a veteran, you really sometimes you don't connect your passion until later on. And when I was kind of thrown in that role, that's when the passion was uncovered, and I discovered that I really love doing things for veterans in the community. The Vietnam vet, you know, they were never welcome home. And so last year I started a Vietnam Veterans Day celebration. And I'm telling you, Grant, I almost was in tears. Mm-hmm. These guys would call me, these 80, 90-year-olds, you know, Shenetria, you and your team, because you're right. When I do it, Grant, we got to do it right. We got to do it with a spirit of excellence. We got to do it memorable. Some guys have never been honored. Some people have never been appreciated, and we want them to feel really appreciated. And so we have a nice lunch for them, a nice hot lunch. There's nothing wrong with sandwiches when you got to do sandwiches, but I mean, I'm from Georgia. We like to eat. So we have grilled chicken and rice and vegetables and rolls and salad. We got to throw something healthy in there. But we eat real good, a nice hot meal, and we give them door prizes, and we have vendors there that provide services for them. And, you know, gives them a more hand-on-hand approach with the vet, face-to-face interaction with the veteran and the vendor. And with the Vietnam Veterans event, we have a guest speaker, have them share this past event that you're mentioning. We had in March, March 29th is National Vietnam Veterans Day, which actually just a few short years ago became a national holiday.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So we had a Vietnam veteran who was our keynote speaker this year, and we give out certificates for some of the we just acknowledge and love on them. We gave them special pins, Vietnam veterans pins, welcome them home and salute them, because actually they were not welcome home. They didn't feel it was almost like shame, and we don't want anyone that sacrificed their life willingly or unwillingly. Some of them were drafted, but we don't want anyone that sacrificed their life to keep us free, because freedom is not free. It costs.
It cost you a lot. I'm gonna tell you what you're talking about. My stepfather served in the military in Vietnam in a forward situation. This was back in the 1960s. He's 78, 79 years old now. He still talks about it like it happened yesterday. PSTD is a real thing. You're talking about living with that for 40, 50 years. So he's 19 years old, deployed to another country. He doesn't know anything about these people, given a rifle and a gun and said, go out there and survive. And I tell you, man, that's a searing experience, especially for a young person, to then rotate back into real civilian life. And you're like, okay, go ahead, act like nothing happened. Like, well, that's not the case.
They grow up in the military. Like you said, 19, shoved off to another country. I see it a lot. And one of the things about the West Palm Beach VA system, they have a whole team that deals with that mental health component, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide prevention, which is a huge problem with veterans, and something called moral injury. Okay. And there's a difference. I actually went through a training, and years ago I hosted 3 symposiums or panel discussions with the experts from the VA on those 3 areas. Moral injury is when you're having to deal with something that you morally had to go against, killing babies and families, but, kill or be killed, so those are different components that our soldiers are struggling with. Unfortunately, a lot of the homeless population are veterans.
Yes. And that's a real thing. And something we need to recognize in our community about why people are the way they are. You don't realize some of the things, and it's very hard to just move forward like nothing ever happened. Like you just said, sometimes you're in situations goes against your moral code, your moral character. Even though the event of itself could have happened decades ago, you still live with that, and maybe you ever come to terms with all those things. So I love what you're doing in that respect. You also have another program that I was a part of, and I'm very blessed to be a part of that program. And I really love it. When we talk about Project 12 and what you've been able to do around that and where it grew out of, and I want you to tell that story because I think it's so impactful, and talk about that, and then talk about how you're going to take that to other cities.
I was talking to a really good friend of mine today who remembered when it was just scribbled on a sketch pad. Back May 14th on a Wednesday evening, returning from Bible study, and it was almost like a scribe. It's like something took over my hand, and I started writing out what this was to look like. And here we are going on 11 years later. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, but it actually was conceived right in the middle of Bible study. It was almost like when you go to a movie and at the end they show the credits. They showed who directed and executive director. And it was like in the middle of the session I saw, and then there were 12. It went right across like this. And I said, God, what do you mean? He's like, I want you to set up a calendar highlighting positive Black males from all walks of life. I want there to be a diverse group. I want CEOs, attorneys, physicians, but I want good fathers, good husbands. I want teachers. I want coaches. I want just a diverse, good husbands. I don't know if I said that, but you can be in, you can, if you're a Black man, you can qualify to be in this calendar. And
Okay.
so we need all of those components to work collectively together. We need the CEO to make the deals and to speak on our behalf in the business room, but we also need the coaches who are coaching that CEO's kids while they're in China or while they're in Thailand or while they're in Africa, making these business deals that are going to affect not just their family, but the entire culture of the Black families. So we all have to work together. We need Black physicians that are focused on what concerns Black health. What things are unique to the Black culture versus other cultures? We need those Black men in white coats. We need our teachers who are educating our students and understand that our culture is important and that we can, all cultures working together collectively can be good, collaborative, but we need to understand our heritage. We need these things, Grant. And so when we bring these men together, we need good husbands, supporters, who your wife might be in the forefront and she's a CEO of a company, but you're always there standing in your own strength, not trying to overshadow her, but doing what you do the best. We need that. We need all of those components. And so we bring these guys together. And I've had guys say, man, I can't believe I'm in the calendar with the president of this company. I can't believe I'm in the, every part is essential. Yeah. And so we bring them together. They formulate relationships that they otherwise would not formulate. Why? And you can attest to this. Most CEOs are around CEOs. Most dentists are around dentists or doctors. Most attorneys are around attorneys. We bring these guys together. They formulate groups. They develop relationships because every part, every aspect of the Black man is needed. And we bring this together with Project 12. And that was my instructions. And I have honed to stay true to my instructions with what God said. You'll never see an edition with just all attorneys. You'll never see an edition with all coaches. I had someone say, girl, you need to do one of all firemen, the men in uniform. That's not my portion. Yeah. You'll never see. Now, we've honored plenty in uniform, but you're going to see uniform. You're going to see nonprofit organizations that are doing things in the community. We need each one. We need all of our men. And so we come together. We put them on a platform that many have not experienced. We give them a nice photo shoot. We promote them in the community. We hold a reception. You know, we've grown so much over the years where we celebrate them. We produce a glossy style magazine. I always like to think about the Jet magazine, because when your auntie or anyone was featured in it, you never threw it away. That's my auntie, that's my mama. Or even Black Enterprise. You when your loved one is featured, it doesn't matter what year it is, Grant. They're gonna keep that publication. So we put their bios. You know how many people have come up and said, I didn't know that much about that person. I didn't know this person did that. And so that's what we do. We highlight them in a positive light. Why did I do this, Grant? I was so grieved with the media, with all the negativity that our next generation of men are witnessing. And so I'm like, what can I do? And this is what God instructed me to do. My background is sales and marketing. That's all I've known over all the years. I am a community advocate at heart. I mean, when I was a little girl, my mama used to tell me I would go around to the neighbors at 9 years old and give out little pamphlets and write a little note saying, Jesus love you, get saved today. I mean, 9-year-old goes around to everyone in their development, handwritten note, staple, and say, Jesus love. Who does that? So I've always been one that was a community advocate that loves people, that has boots on the ground, you know. And so
I'll tell you, Shenetria, for real. I mean, if anybody can see behind me, like if you see the picture that's behind me, that came from Project 12. I have my keepsake that's actually on a bookcase behind me. that came from Project 12. I was celebrated. I sent it to my mom. My mom, when I went home just recently, she has it on her table. So what you're saying is a real thing, because they're very proud. My mother was very proud, like, wow, you're being celebrated, in your community, countywide. Not only, now this one was special, because it was not just Palm Beach County, but it was Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, and Broward. It was your 12th edition, I believe it was.
No, it was 10 for Palm Beach and 5 for Broward. After we got acclimated in Palm Beach, I went to Broward. And because it was anniversary years for both edition, we had one combined unique reception. And boy, did we have a phenomenal time at the Boca West Country Club. The staff was immaculate. It was just a phenomenal, the service provided was just phenomenal. We had such a wonderful time. It was great networking. We had great supporters. It was just a phenomenal event. I couldn't have asked for anything more. And we're just going to go up from here, Grant. We know our mission. We're true to our mission. We're going to be opening up nominations soon in June for 2025, because we do individual photo shoots for each one of the recipients. You can imagine I got 24 prominent Black men that I got to set up with their time schedules, photo shoots, bio. We do a phenomenal publication. And we're thankful for all of our supporters and sponsors. And we definitely need more. We want to branch out to Dallas in 2025. We want to take this thing on the road. And why? Because, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but even my friends in Atlanta, like, Shenetria, this is different. This isn't happening. Yes. You know why? Because we do a lot of things to honor Black owners and Black promoters, but we sometimes don't do anything to separate our men. And I've seen a lot of other men initiatives come out, Grant, since I started this calendar.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of more people focus on Black men initiatives as a result of this calendar. And I'm glad to say that I feel in my spirit that I had something to do with that. And so we're just super excited about starting this movement, honoring our men. So many of the men have come up and say, I want to do more now. When you highlight, they feel empowered. So many of the wives have come up and pulled me to the sides, especially the ones that are the breadwinner. Thank you so much for putting my husband on this platform. Our project has been able to do it in a way that maybe them and their family have not been able to do it. And so they're just grateful and thankful for the Project 12 initiative. We're just so grateful for that.
Yes. No, and the project has been wonderful. And I love the fact that around the media, and I agree with you, because I've been all over the country, and every night 6 o'clock news comes on, and I already know what's going to come on. They're going to show a Black male in trouble with some heinous criminal activity every single night. This comes on, and you hardly ever see something that is humanitarian, something that's highlighting Black males in positive light, and it seems like it's intentional. And I actually did a segment on my show around that with someone that was with me on Project 12, and that was Stanley. Stanley Moore, because he does conflict resolution as a mediator, and we had this conversation because I think if we voice ourselves and let people know, like, hey, I think we're being unfairly represented on your platform on purpose. And I know that the city of Kansas City did a formal apology around it, because they tend to look at their own selves, especially during the latest uprising that happened around George Floyd, and they looked at that and said, you know what, we have unfairly targeted this group on purpose to drive other behaviors, but we want to make sure that there's a negative vibe around Black males. This has got to stop. You're doing something super, super important, and I like that it's divinely inspired. I think that's wonderful. Tell us a little bit more about your business. And I know you're doing sales, you're doing marketing, you've got several projects. Tell us more about She Holding.
Well, She Holding is the marketing, advertising, publishing company, and Shay's Community is the nonprofit arm. And so, pretty much, they work hand in hand. The publication part of the events are done through She Holdings when you have the actual magazine, but the event parts are pretty much done through Shay's Community. But I do projects separate, even through She Holdings. I MC a lot of community events. Locally, I just MC'd an event where with Roosevelt High School, honoring some of those from back in the 50s and 60s that graduated. And I mean, we got some local stars here who went on to do some big things and make the top 10 list, American Bandstand, and do hit records. So I was honored to MC that event. So I MC quite a few events in the community as well. I also do other initiatives. When COVID hit, and the gas flew through the roof, you know, our company and our program, Shay's Community, gave out $1,000 in gas cards to seniors. So we work with a lot of the local churches here as well. The Project 12 and the veterans pretty much keep me covered and booked and busy with the Project 12 grant. And what was inspired just from this last anniversary reception event is I'm going to start doing a P12 one-day training camp.
Okay.
And that's going to be from age 9 to 17 for the young men. I'm targeting different male mentoring groups, and I'm going to have the Project 12 recipients come and do different segments throughout the day from 10 to 2 and have them speak on different topics to these upcoming young Black males. And so that's going to start to happen every year, the P12 training day camp. And so this will be an inaugural year for that event. It was birthed out of this last anniversary. The vision was given to me right after that. And so we're going to make that come into fruition.
Oh, you got to do it. We've got to make sure. It is definitely our responsibility to make sure that this next generation has an opportunity to succeed at a high level with so much information that's freely flowing, but we've got to get them focused on the right information, right?
Yes.
The wrong way and the right way to use social media. I love your social media. I love your brand. You can go to her brand. You see Shenetria Moore. She's out there in the community. She is doing it. She's living it. And that is just wonderful to see. And I'm sure you are a great role model for our young women that are out there as well, because they see you doing your thing, speaking your truth, and understanding how you can be in the corporate world. At the same time, you can have that entrepreneurial spirit. And if you go back to when she was 9 years old, knocking on doors and handing out pamphlets, you know, she had that early, had it often, and now she's going into another direction. I am so glad I was able to collaborate with you, got to know you, and see how we can actually work on things together. Now, you came on my show on Follow the Brand. I want you to tell the audience how you felt being a guest on the Follow the Brand podcast.
It was such a phenomenal opportunity, and I'm just so thankful for, you know, I tell everyone, people pay a price for their platforms. They don't come free. And so even today with Dr. Kelly allowing me to be on this platform, I'm grateful and honored. Follow the Brand. It was such an awesome opportunity. The light that you shine on our organization. You know, a lot of people are still unaware of what we're doing here at Project 12. Yeah, there's a lot of different initiatives, but there's not one like this initiative. And like you said, the foundation of a thing, it really matters. Why it's in existence. Why are you doing Project 12? What does 12 mean? 12 is a number of structure and government. Jesus had 12 disciples. You know, it's not just P12 for happenstance. There's 12 hours in a day, 12 months in a year. Our numerical system is based on the number 12. So the number 12 alone represents structure, government, order, and power. So when we say Project 12 and we're acknowledging these 12 men, That is saying all of that is composed in all of those men, what the definition of 12 is. And so it's just so much power behind Project 12 and why we do what we do. And another reason why we do it locally, Denzel Washington does a phenomenal job on his national platform. LeBron James, I mean, he built a school, just to name a couple. And there are many, many others. But some of our guys may never meet them, but they'll meet a Grant McGaugh, who was on a panel, who was a guest panelist at our STEM cell research here in Palm Beach County. He's tangible. They can come up and shake their hands. They'll meet a Dr. Roger Duncan, who's a local Black anesthesiologist who broke all barriers with that. They may meet a Patrick Franklin, who's the CEO of the Urban League, doing phenomenal things here in Palm Beach County, or Mayor Mesum, who's the mayor of the city of Miramar, doing phenomenal things. Rashad Smith, regional director of ATEC. They may meet them, but they may never meet those celebrities. But you guys are their tangible examples and resources. And that's why we do it on a local level, so that they can see it. And we try to make sure every year that we have these events, I make sure that we get a young male mentoring group in the room.
Yes.
We want them to see how they're supposed to be treated. We want them to see how they're supposed to be honored. And we've had some phenomenal groups over the years. I've had a Black medical group from FAU, the Smith's Medical School down in Boca Raton. We've had the Men of Distinction. We've had the Omega Lamp-Lighters, the Kappa Leaguers. So all of these, this year, we're going to have the Cup Boy Scouts of America. You know, we want to make sure that our young guys are seeing, because to see it is believe it. And if they can see it, they can believe that they can achieve it. And so that's our whole purpose. It goes back to them, the next foundation of men. And so now I'm so excited with this next step. We're honoring the daddies. We're honoring the men. Let's go back to the boys.
That's right.
Let's see how those guys impact back into those young men through these training sessions right before school.
And they get a chance, these sponsors get a chance to showcase, you know, there's one thing to put on your mission statement, your vision statement. We're all about the community. We're about, you know, growing the community and helping people out. Here's an opportunity to put your money where your mouth is. You know, let's do something. So it's not just money. It's about enabling an initiative to continue. So when you look at all the different companies that are in Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, Broward County, not only county government, but all the healthcare systems and the enterprises that are there. And this is why I wanted you to be on the show, because I want to showcase you in front of my audience that, hey, here's an opportunity. When you start looking at where do we put ourselves in marketing dollars? What are we going to do that has social impact? Project 12. Wow, I wasn't aware of that. What are they doing? They're celebrating Black men. Like, okay, all right, this is something I can get on board with. Let's get a hold of Shenetria Moore. Let's see what she's all about. You've got a history. So they're like, oh, it's not a startup. No, you got 5 years in Miami-Dade and Broward County, 10 years in Palm Beach. And let me tell you, these Palm Beach guys, they always let us know that they got 10 years.
I love the little friendly camaraderie, Grant, that the guys have. And, you know, even before Project 12, I've always been a community advocate. I'm on a couple of boards, too, because he who wants friends must show themselves friendly. You know, I'm not just out there just support Project 12. I support others. I'm on the board of the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society, which is a group of phenomenal Black physicians doing phenomenal things in the community, community driven by the heart. Dr. T. Leroy Jefferson was a Black bicycle doctor right here in Palm Beach County. Has a phenomenal story. I'm also working now with the Boy Scouts of America. Man, teaching these guys life skills at an early age. And so that lines up right with Project 12. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta. We do so many things in the community, Sorority Incorporated. And so we're doing these things in the community because we want to make a difference. Community is who we are. Community is who I am. You have to have boots on the ground. I had a lady ask me at my last veterans event, how do you get people out? It's hard to get people out to these events. Boots on the ground. You got to do it all. You got to do social media. You got to go out and network. You have to support others. It's not just about you. Support others. And so you see my social media. I'm supporting others
all the time.
I'm supporting others. And then you have to be in the trenches. You need
one more question, Shenetria, because so we collaborated on the video project. We came together and said, hey, we got to put a recap video together. And we worked on that thing. Because you had a videographer, but it didn't really truly work out. We had to take what we had, put things together. We put our heads together. We worked on this thing. We got it out there. And I looked at this thing and I said, wow, look at all these people that are looking at this. There were hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm like, that is awesome. I mean, the feedback had to be great.
The follow the brand, even the video promo you did for us with our segment was phenomenal. I mean, you truly know what you're doing. The video was par none. I mean, thank you so much. You did such a great job on that. We can tell that you're not new to what you're doing, that you're an expert in this field. And I'm looking forward to us doing many, many more projects together. Even at the event, you strategically had the right people in the room.
Yes. Oh man,
that was event. You had so many instrumental people in that room, and I'm just so grateful. And so anyone or any business connected to you is definitely headed in the right direction.
Thank you. I see Miss Erika.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Shenetria, for sharing your business experience and the nuggets of wisdom that you have shared with all businesses here watching today. Do you have any last minute tips that you would like to share with business owners who are aspiring, like entrepreneurs?
Stay focused, take your vision and run with it. Once you got the vision, make it plain. It may not look, I started Project 12 when I was actually unemployed at that time, in between 10, 11 years ago. I didn't get a job until later on. But when you get the vision, take it, run with it, and make it plain. And it will surely, surely come to pass. You put in the work, believe in yourself, stay positive, and it will surely come to pass. I didn't put out my information, Eureka. I don't know if I can do that right now. If I have time to put out my website, and please visit our website at sheholdingsllc.com and support our initiatives, our two primary initiatives, the ones with Project 12. We're coming to a city near you. And so we want to put Project 12 on the map, and also what we're doing with our veterans. Right now, somebody's behind enemy line so that we could have freedom and continue to have freedom, because freedom is not free. I'm telling you what I know. Being activated for the first Gulf War, it was terrifying. It's a whole nother culture when you're in a wartime situation. So we want to thank our veterans, and we want to honor our Black men, as well as some of the other things that we're doing in the community. Thank you so much. I'm also on LinkedIn, Shenetria Moore, and I'm on Facebook, Shenetria Moore. Thank you so much again, Dr. Eric Kelly. I appreciate him. I appreciate you, Erica, Miss Mann. Thank you so much, Grant. People build their platforms. They don't just happen. And I don't take it lightly when someone's allowed me to share on their platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Shenetria, and we greatly appreciate it. Everyone, genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We want to thank our Black Business, Expo USA sponsors for April 2024. That would be NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rich Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, The Hello LLC, Barbara H. Smith LLC, Margie McLean Foundation Incorporated, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, 5-Star BDM Media, Malaine Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, and Artistic App Design. Black Business Expo USA, Genius is Coming, and I'll see you all on the other side.